Okay, well, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be.
Hi everybody, I wanted to kind of make a video talking about UFOs and aliens. And it's been a minute since I've done a video like this, but I feel like it's time. Because my perception and opinion has changed. I listen to a lot of podcasts about, creepy shit and weird things like this. And the more I've been listening to this, the more my opinion's kind of swayed. Because I'm at the point now where I really don't believe aliens exist. And I'm going to get onto that as to why I believe in that. The first things first, I have seen 2 UFOs in my life. I saw one back when I was 14 or 15, it was one of the two. I was at a place called Our Ranch up here in California. It was about 4 hours from LA. I don't remember where it's at, but it's up in the mountains. I'm sure somebody could find it. I'm just too lazy to look. But I remember I was on the dock at night at the little lake on the mountain, and there was this big blue ball of light in the sky, and I remember I was looking at it and no one else noticed it. I was hanging out with a bunch of teenagers that I had just become friends with. There'll be a story with one of the girls at some point. But anyways, nobody else noticed it, and I don't remember anything else after that. I'm not saying anything weird happened or anything like that, so don't take it out of context. I don't remember anything else. I just remember seeing the big blue ball of light. This has been almost 20 years. And then the second one was earlier this year, or it was last year. I think it was earlier this year. I remember I was laying in bed and there was this object just floating in the sky. I was looking out the window because this is a giant ass window. And my whole wall is a window. And I was just looking outside and there was this object just floating. I don't know, it must have been a couple hundred feet above the ground or something, but I was just staring at it. So I called my friend. He's like, well, maybe it's a satellite. I'm like, well, yeah, I could understand why you'd think that, but it's not moving. I even took a picture of it. I took a picture, sent it to him. It's not a good quality photo, unfortunately. I don't have that pixel where I can just zoom in to the moon, but it was very interesting nonetheless. It was there for a couple hours and then it was just gone. I don't know if anybody else seen it. I haven't really looked too much into it. And main reason for that is when it comes to aliens and UFOs, like aliens, the concept of it really creeps me out. But I'm at the point now where I just don't believe in it. There's really no evidence to support that. I know what you're thinking, like the universe is so vast, as far as we know anyways. I don't really fully believe, I know this is where I may lose some people, but like, I don't really fully believe anything that fucking NASA tells us. I've made a video talking about that before. NASA's been caught lying like how many fucking times? NASA stands for never a straight answer. They lie about everything. So like, I don't know. And they also haven't even said anything about aliens. It's kind of weird that we have telescopes that can see so fucking far away, but we can't see what's on actual planets. It's just interesting. And anything that we do see, like the Mars face, anybody remember that from a couple years ago? Like the face and the pyramids and shit they found on Mars? They cover that shit up. It's just quiet. It's like, shh. I don't know. It's just interesting. But when it comes to aliens, it's just there's no evidence to support that. There's more evidence that Bigfoot exists than aliens do. Like, the thing about aliens, most of your like evidence comes from the fact that you would just try to apply logic to the fact that the universe is so massive, there has to be life out there, right? But as far as we're aware, there are none, and nobody even has video evidence of this. This is an argument me and my friends got into about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Because we were arguing about aliens, and they're like, oh, aliens come to Earth all the time. I'm like, how do you know this? And they're like, well, the UFO sightings. I'm like, for all you know, those are just drones. Like, you know what I mean? And they were like, well, why would they have drones? I'm like, because if they're so smart and they're so much more advanced than us, why would they not send drones? Why would you come here yourself? Why would you risk getting shot down by the military? Why would you risk coming out here? What if something falls, catches you off? What if, like, radiation hits? What if you fly over, like, Chernobyl, for instance? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, if they are so advanced and so smart, they would have to send nothing else but drones. And if aliens are existing, the way I see it, they definitely don't come from outer space, because there's really no evidence to support that. I know everyone wants to believe that shit, but I think you're just so wrapped up in Hollywood movies, you just really believe this. On top of that, we all believe that if aliens do come here, they're going to take over the world and shit. Again, this is programming from Hollywood. Anytime you ever see anything with like evil aliens, it's always a fucking movie or a book or something like that. There's, again, no evidence to support this shit, however. I think the closest, most interesting thing about aliens I've seen in a while was the Nevada incident that happened a couple months ago, where like people said that there were like these tall things in their backyard. Anybody remember that story? And it quickly got brushed under the rug. And then you have like people like Bob Lazar, who was allegedly, he worked for Area 51. He came out talking about like, oh, he's not suicidal and everything, because like people, like the government's been like hounding his ass for years. He was a whistleblower. But it's funny that this other guy, who is a approved whistleblower, comes out talking about extraterrestrials and UFOs and shit. I don't even know what this man's name. He's just so like quick and open about it and like nonchalant about it. Nothing negative has happened to him, so it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it feels concerning, because like the moment, I've said this before, one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse is the mainstream media. Once the mainstream media pick this story up and start talking about UFOs and they're treating it like this shit is real, at that point I lost any kind of credibility towards it. Like, I just don't find it remotely true anymore. I just feel like it's fake, because that's all they do, that's all the media does, is lie. So the mere moment that they even talk about this, it's just, to me, it just feels a little too far-fetched, you know? And it's just, I don't know. Like I said, there's more evidence to support that aliens, or UFOs, I should say, if UFOs are real, I'd say that they come from the ocean, or they come from our atmosphere, not necessarily outside of the planet, because there is a cryptid that I'm really fascinated by called atmospheric jellyfish. They basically resemble UFOs, and I'm talking about like extraterrestrial UFOs, like the flying saucers, not like something you can't like identify. And it's just the mere fact that like the government's now come out talking about aliens and Congress is talking about it, as if now suddenly you're concerned by this shit. You weren't concerned about this for like how many years, but now suddenly you are. It's like, to me, it sounds too made up. It just sounds incredibly like a large amount of shit. It's bullshit. That's just how it comes across to me now. And I want to believe, I really do. I want to believe that there's things out there. Just, I'm to the point now in my life where I just can't find it. To me, it's just another Bigfoot hoax. It's another Loch Ness monster. You know, how many times have scientists went looking for the Loch Ness monster and they found nothing, but the story keeps going on and on and on, and it's probably because, hey, guess what? That area really needs money, and it's a tourist attraction, so people are going to go out there constantly and pay money and visit and everything. It's just, you keep the rumors going, you keep the cycle going, that's how they make money. They benefit from that. Bigfoot, I really wanted to believe in Bigfoot. It's just as it gets on and on, there's just less evidence of this existing, you know? So, I don't know. When it comes to UFOs, it's just, for all you know, I mean, maybe they are life forms. They're not necessarily spaceships. Everyone talks about like different experiences. Every time you hear a story about a UFO, it's never the same shit. Like all these podcasts, all these stories of like eyewitness accounts that I listen to like all the time, because I love this kind of shit. It's just, the more you hear about it, the more it just kind of sounds made up. As I keep saying, like the stories I'm hearing, like, oh, it was Tic Tac shape. Oh, I had lights on it. Oh, I had a landing gear. Oh, it didn't have any windows. It's just like, which one is it? Like, you know, you're getting to the point now where you're trying to make me believe that the entire universe is just visiting us like we're a zoo. And I could see why they would, but realistically, we are not the worst things out there if life does exist on other planets. I believe that there are wholeheartedly worse, crazier things than us. So I just, like I said, I don't know. You know, it's furthermore with the government's hasn't taken this shit serious until now for some reason. Like everything Hollywood just makes it out like, oh, aliens are so much more advanced than us, they're so much smarter than us, they're so much more capable. But here's the thing. You ever look at like an alien in these movies, they always look identical to one another. They never have like any kind of like characteristics outside of like what you would just generalize them as. Like the grays, big black eyes, skinny bodies, big heads. I'm over here thinking like, how the hell could that dominate space travel? Like, if you ever hear stories like Travis Walton. Travis Walton's like probably the most famous person ever abducted by an alien. And even in his story, which I want to believe his story, I really do, because I find it so fascinating. His story actually inspired the movie Fire in the Sky, which is one of the scariest fucking movies ever with the alien abduction scene. And to me, I think the scariest movie in the world is Signs. I think Signs from 2002, M. Night Shyamalan, is the scariest movie ever. It is fucking terrifying. But with Travis Walton's story, he talked about how he nudged one of the aliens and it fell over as if it shouldn't been able to fall over because it was just so lightweight or so weak or something. And to me, like, that's not a dominating species. That's not something that's going to rule the planet. Like, take it for us, we are pretty weak compared to like other animals and stuff like that, but like we are still physically strong. We can still fight back and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's just, again, it's just weird to me, you know what I mean? And hopefully I'm not the only one that thinks like this. I know like there's going to be people that are obviously going to get mad about this, because my friends got mad at me talking about this, because they were like trying to act like I was stupid, despite not having any evidence to back up anything that they were saying, because they were just going off of like Hollywood logic. But, you know, I'm the idiot for not believing that there's life out there when there's literally no way of proving this. And if NASA has found life on other planets, they're not going to tell us. So at the end of the day, does it really matter? This is just me like putting out my thoughts out there. I don't know what, like I said, again, I don't know what you would think. By all means, let me know in the comments. I would be interested in knowing. This is just something I've been thinking about for a little while. I want to believe, and I feel like at some point we're going to have an alien invasion, but it's just going to be really the government doing it to rally up everyone to like support the government in some way. I feel like that's what's going to happen, because it just kind of feels more and more like we're getting to that point. I don't know. Just like I said, every alien movie I ever watched, aliens are always like the bad guys trying to take over the planet for like whatever. They want our resources. If they're so fucking advanced, they wouldn't need to fight us. They could just zap us out, right? Like, if they can conquer space travel, surely they could wipe us out in one one swoop, failless move. They wouldn't need to like go hunting for us and shit like Predator, or like plant eggs in us like the Xenomorph, or do the Mars attack thing where they have to like be all cartoonish and, you know, just, I don't know, it's just stupid. I don't know, let me know what you think. So yeah, thank you.